Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and I'm super excited because it's already been reported that Reyes will definitely make the 53-man roster. From here, we have to question whether they'll keep 3 tight ends or 4. With Reyes already being the 3rd tight end, will they keep a 4th tight end as in Ricky Seals-Jones? Also, Trey Apke has been confirmed to making the team. We know that's because of his special teams contribution, and it hasn't been reported officially that Jared Patterson will make the team, but with Peyton Barber getting cut, it is assumed. We're going to dive into all of that and more, but before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification immediately and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Again, as always, make sure you check out the rest of the channel. All of my videos are organized in playlists. I even have a comedy playlist for all of my funny videos. I'm keeping y'all updated everything Washington football team all today. Every time something major happens, coming out with a video in these next 2 weeks leading up to the regular season. Y'all already know I'm live streaming every game during the regular season, and I'm speaking into existence the postseason as well, and we'll have the post-game live streams after most games where y'all call in. So stay tuned for all of that content. Without further ado, let's get it. So yeah, man, I was super excited to see tight end Reyes is one of the guys that will make the 53-man roster. It's been confirmed through reports he is safe. He is at the very least the 3rd tight end. Will they keep 3 or 4? With it being Logan Thomas, John Bates, and Reyes, and maybe Ricky Seals-Jones as that 4th one. And it's such a crazy story. I mean, a Chilean basketball player didn't even know what an audible was just a few months ago, just signed him in April, and now he's officially on a 53-man roster in the NFL as of August. That is crazy. And it's all potential. They're banking on potential. They know strategy-wise with how much potential he has, with him being the most athletic tight end to ever touch the NFL. It was highly unlikely for us to be able to release him and hope that he makes it onto the practice squad. And even if he did, he wouldn't last long. So you have to keep a guy like him on the actual roster. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be active on game days as well, because he's also fairly inconsistent with blocking, but he has a high ceiling there as well. And I think he can contribute in that department day one, even against the Chargers. We saw in preseason where he made some very impressive, aggressive, physical blocks. Ron Rivera went on to speak about how Reyes is one of the most physical blockers on the entire team. Not even just the tight end group, the entire team, including the offensive linemen. He's one of the most physical blockers, maybe the most physical blocker on the team. So once you get his technique right, his ceiling is ridiculous. But I still feel like just with his strength and his physicality, he has a certain floor to his blocking to where we can use him immediately week 1 against the Chargers. But he has the potential to be just this all-pro, never before seen type of tight end. Again, he's the most athletic tight end according to his profile with RAS. So it's hard to even give a comp or a ceiling for him, because I guess the closest thing you could say would be a more athletic, better blocking Jimmy Graham if he's able to reach that potential. We don't know if he will, won't guarantee that at all, but I could definitely tell you one thing. When we signed him back in April, he's definitely further ahead August 31st than I ever thought he would be. I thought it would take way longer for him to get to the point that he's already at. Granted, he has the second catch passes thrown his way. At least he did in the first preseason game against the Patriots. In the 3rd one against the Ravens, he had a one-handed catch. So once he's able to get all of the technique things down, all of the mental stuff down, get his route running, learn how to turn his head around in time on these shorter routes so that the ball doesn't catch him off guard, he's going to be a dominant tight end, I'm telling you. Because Logan Thomas, as great as he is, and I feel like he's a top 7 with the potential to be a top 5 tight end in the NFL, but he doesn't get open on his own. Honestly, really the only tight ends out here getting truly open on their own are like maybe Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. I mean, even George Kittle is schemed open by Kyle Shanahan, just like Logan Thomas is schemed open by Scott Turner. So if Reyes can get the blocking down, can get the hands down, we'll be straight from there. Route running is a bonus. And then also Trey Apke, like I said before the intro, was confirmed that he's going to make the roster. Like I've already talked about in several videos and live streams, he's primarily making the roster because of his special teams ability. He is arguably the team's best gunner. That value is priceless. You just don't find that anywhere. Granted, we have Jared Norris, David Mayo, potentially Derek Forrest, Deshazor Everett, Cam Sims. We have guys that excel in special teams coverage, especially kickoffs, punts, and all of that. But like Trey Apke's probably our best one. And then his ability to make that switch from safety to corner and go from one of the worst safeties ever to touch the NFL to at least a decent backup corner. I'm not saying that if Trey Apke ever gets into a game, I'm confident in him shutting down like Keenan Allen week 1. I'm not saying that at all. He's definitely not even Darryl Roberts, but he's not terrible at corner like he was terrible at safety. And again, the majority of the reason he made this team is because of his special teams ability. Nate Kaxer and every special teams coordinator in the NFL have the ability to choose at least like a handful of guys that are specifically for special teams. Special teams matters. People act like it doesn't, but Tress Way has been bailing us out with his punts for years now. He's had a direct impact on wins or losses. And then to have a Trey Apke as his basically Robin after Tress Way kicks the punt, Trey Apke's down there to make the play to where it's not returnable. Out here forcing fair catches by being the first one down the field. I mean, down there immediately before the returner can even get a chance to think or even field the punt. Those things really matter and have an impact on games. Honestly, Trey Apke is going to have more of a special teams impact on this team than a Torrey McTyer will as a backup corner, especially immediately. Also, with them releasing Danny Johnson and Jimmy Moreland, that just shows that they truly believe in Torrey McTyer, Benjamin St-Juste, Darryl Roberts, and all of these other guys, along with, of course, William Jackson and Kendall Fuller. Again, Trey Apke is deep in the depth chart for corner, but he is still there. But if we ever get to a point where Trey Apke even has to start at outside corner, we're in trouble anyway. So I'm not upset about the Trey Apke making the roster thing. Again, special teams really matters way more than a lot of people admit, but we'll see. Somebody as good at special teams as a Trey Apke is not easy to find, I promise you. But now this roster is interesting because it looks like they're not going to keep 4 running backs. They're probably only going to keep 3. They released Antonio Gandy-Golden, so maybe they keep 6 or 7 receivers. And it looks like they may end up keeping at least 10 defensive backs, probably 11, which will definitely give them room for a 10th offensive lineman or a 9th defensive lineman, or maybe even a 4th tight end like I talked about. Because I like Ricky Seals-Jones. It would be nice if we can keep him on the roster as a 4th tight end. He may not be active on game days, but that's a nice guy to just have in your back pocket in case we need him. Don't love Ricky Seals-Jones, but he's pretty decent. I'm just really happy that Sammis Reyes made the roster. I'm super excited about that. And then, lastly, again, it has not been officially reported that Jaret Patterson's making the roster, but with there literally only being Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissic, and Jaret Patterson being the 3 running backs on your entire roster right now, it's safe to assume that he's making the roster. Even if they go and try to get like a Devonta Freeman as their 4th running back on the roster, I still feel like Jaret Patterson is safe. I don't think they will bring in a Devonta Freeman to replace a Jaret Patterson. Jaret Patterson just has too much talent and potential. He's already a pretty good pass blocker, and that's hard to find / teach. It took Antonio Gibson till like halfway through the season last year to even be playable on 3rd downs because of his lack of pass blocking ability. Jaret Patterson already comes with that. And then he showed you what he could do in special teams with that one kickoff return he had for 36 yards. It looks so explosive and dependable. It looked like a guy went back there catching kickoffs from now on. And then, I mean, I love J.D. McKissic, but he's more of a 3rd down backer. Chris Thompson, you want him involved more in the passing game than the run game. So right now, other than Antonio Gibson, all you have is Jaret Patterson on a 3rd and 1. You need to get that 1 yard right now. You don't really expect the J.D. McKissic to do that in the red zone, on goal line. You just need to go ahead and punch it in 2 yards for the touchdown. Other than Antonio Gibson, Jaret Patterson is your only answer. So I feel like it is definitely safe to assume he's going to make this roster. I mean, the way he already impressed in preseason, Rivera speaking so highly of him several times, even with those drop passes against the Ravens, I don't think that was enough for him to deserve to get cut again, because even in that same game, he was such a good pass blocker and a blitz pickup guy at the running back position. That's invaluable right there. And then that Bengals game, his smooth running, his cuts, his vision, his patience. And then with him being so small, linebackers, defensive linemen lose him in all of the traffic, and then he finds that right hole to hit, and once he hits it, it's too late for the defenders. They already lost him. He's already gone. That's just too invaluable to release, man. Granted, he was an undrafted free agent, so you would just think with logic that if he went undrafted, maybe no other team wants him. But like I've been saying, Jaret Patterson was the talk of the NFL after that Bengals game. Like, not even just in Burgundy and Gold Nation, the overall NFL, people of other teams were like, okay, this Jaret Patterson guy is special. Where did he come from? What round was he drafted? And then they found out he was undrafted, and everybody's like, how? It's not even like Buffalo. It's like a random no-name college. They still play against pretty good talent, so I'm still not exactly sure why Jaret Patterson went undrafted. But boy, the Burgundy and Gold Nation appreciates it. Other 31 teams in the NFL for letting us get Sammis Reyes and Jaret Patterson without having to draft them. Appreciate y'all. If you ain't heard it from nobody else, you're here. Thank you from me. And it's crazy too, because with Jimmy Moreland and Wes Martin getting cut today, only 11 Washington draft picks from the years 2015 through 2019 are currently on the roster. This roster turnover is crazy from Ron Rivera and company. A lot of familiar names are gone. Maybe they make it back to the practice squad. We'll see. And then there's also this Cam Newton situation. He got released by the Patriots today, and I'm assuming it went down as Mac Jones was going to be the starter. They already knew Cam Newton would not be fine with a backup role, so they released him. I'm pretty sure it was mutual amongst the Patriots and Cam Newton once Mac Jones became the starter. And then, of course, Burgundy and Gold Nation are wondering, should we go get him? Well, first of all, I highly doubt we do, just off of the fact that Ron Rivera has had plenty of opportunities to sign him here and chose not to. So, first of all, I doubt it. But there's also an argument to be had on one side that Cam Newton is, of course, washed up and that he's not the same guy he used to be. Y'all know me, man. Cam Newton's my favorite player of all time. You know how that Westlake thing goes. Shout out Adam Pac-Man Jones, too. And my boy Malik Willis at Liberty now. But being completely objective as a Burgundy and Gold fan, I'm not confident in Cam Newton leading us to a Super Bowl at this time. And if he has a certain type of ego to where he feels like he needs to start, he's not okay with a backup job, that's definitely not here. I feel like the best situation, honestly, for him, even though I hate to say it, would be to go to a team like the Cowboys, where if Dak Prescott gets hurt, now you're the starter. Cam Newton's best landing spot right now is somewhere with a presumed starter that's dealing with some injury struggles, and I feel like the Cowboys are a great spot for him. Would hate to see it. I would hate to root against Cam Newton, but I would have to. But it makes sense. I mean, he would have a really good receiving core. Who knows about this run game and this offensive line, honestly? And he would always be in the spotlight, being talked about all of the time. I feel like, even as humble as he is, I feel like he would still enjoy that. And Dallas has fairly similar weather to Atlanta, so he wouldn't have to be in the cold all of the time. But as far as the Burgundy and Gold goes, I mean, I prefer pretty much anybody over Kyle Allen at this point. I'll try Kyle Lauletta. I'll try Cam Newton. Because the argument with Kyle Allen, he knows the system. Well, Cam Newton knows the system very well as well and can open up the playbook more than a Kyle Allen could. Again, I'm not comparing Cam Newton to Taylor Heinicke and Ryan Fitzpatrick. If he comes here, he's obviously the third quarterback. And again, I highly doubt he would accept a role like that. But again, I'm anybody other than Kyle Allen. Man, I was down to even try Steven Montez. I feel like Kyle Allen's ceiling has already been reached, and whatever that is, isn't good enough for me. So I prefer the mystery guy who may have a lower floor than a Kyle Allen. But at the end of the day, if Kyle Allen has to come into a regular season game and play for us, start for us or whatever, I'm not expecting us to win that game anyway. So at least we might as well throw somebody out there with some potential, with a boom or bust type of play style, something exciting. Maybe Steven Montez, Cam Newton with some read option. I have more fun watching Steven Montez in the second half of that Ravens game than Kyle Allen in the first half. Again, you don't really expect to win with either one of these guys. Cam Newton maybe even included in that. But at least with Cam Newton and Steven Montez, the offense will be fun to watch while we're losing, rather than a Kyle Allen where we're just losing. So again, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not let's go get Cam and start him over Ryan Fitzpatrick right now, even though I do feel like Cam Newton, for several reasons that, I mean, I could go on for forever, why I feel like he will finally have a bounce back season if he's able to start this year. But I don't want to risk that here. I mean, like I've always told y'all, even with my Georgia Bulldogs players, I'm completely biased towards them when they're in college, but when they get to the NFL, I'm completely objective because it's Burgundy and Gold above all else. Love Cam Newton, but if him being on this team is a detriment to us winning, I don't want him. Again, I feel like him as a backup would be great, but again, I reiterate, I doubt he's willing to accept that role. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section, let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please like this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. Please subscribe, of course. And a special shouts out to everybody that supports the channel, man. Big shouts out to everybody that donates. A big shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose name you see scrolling on the screen right now. Man, I really appreciate all my channel members. Y'all are gonna get at least one fantasy league just for y'all, maybe two if we have enough of them that want to take part in it. So we'll see. y'all get exclusive content in various ways, videos, eventually maybe some live streams as well, and priority in some fantasy leagues. So we're gonna get those fantasy leagues going, probably gonna end up doing like 8 of them because I know a lot of people that want to do them. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. Got a lot going on these next 2 weeks, so I'm excited. Catch y'all later. I'm out.